And welcome to the SpartanMag.com vcast. Special vcast tonight. Munn Ice Arena, Michigan State, number 1 ranked team in the country. Number 3 ranked Penn State Big Ten opener. You know Neil Koepke, the greatest college hockey writer in the history of planet Earth. Special guest Brian Hedger. Postcards from the Hedge right here. He's a Magger, long timer. He's
right.
in.
This is not my first vcast either.
Great. You did the one.
What were we? Northwestern
with Konendijk.
With Konendijk, we were freezing our butts off. I remember that. I'll never forget that one. They won that game.
That was Rose Bowl year, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah,
they clinched the Big Ten title. I was at home doing some youth basketball stuff with my daughter. You filled in for me. You're in Northern Indiana at the time, right?
I was in Crown Point, Indiana, and now I have shifted over to Columbus, Ohio.
You and Konendijk were out there about 5 below wind chill. I was cracking up watching that VCast. Sorry about that.
It was freezing cold, but I loved it because I've always been a big fan of the VCast. So, I want to be on one.
Known Hedger for a long time. He's in town, covers the Columbus Blue Jackets for the Columbus Dispatch. He's in town. Tell us what you were working on tonight here at Munn Ice Arena.
So I figured, with the Jackets out in Western Canada right now, and they did not send me out on the road for that particular trip. I'm like, well, what am I going to do, right? Like, I could go to Cleveland, check out the Monsters. I'm going home. Like, I'm from Brighton, Michigan, so I'm going home to see a family. Brighton is obviously right down the road from here, and I'm like, I go check out Kaden Lindström. So the Michigan State has 2 Blue Jackets draft picks, Kaden Lindström and the backup goalie Melvin Stroll, and they're playing Penn State, who has I would call him like 1 and 1A with Kaden as far as top prospects for the Jackets. Jackson Smith, the defenseman, he's number 7 if you're watching these games out here, real smooth skater. They just drafted Jackson this past year, 14th overall. Kaden was a 2024 draft pick. I think it was 20 or 23. No, it was 24. It was 24. Right. 4th overall. I'm sorry, excuse me, voice is cracking. 4th overall. Very warranted. He played for Medicine Hat Tigers. Real good power skating, power forward, but he plays center. I was telling you just up there, the guy that I think he plays a lot like is Quentin Byfield of the Los Angeles Kings. They're built very much the same. They have a lot of the same skills. They're for big power forwards. They got hands and they can skate. Quentin Byfield's obviously older. He spent some time at the wing with the Kings, and now he's at center, so he's like their number 2 center behind Kopitar, and he will be their number 1 center eventually. So the Jackets are looking at this guy like, yeah, he's going to be one of our top 2 centers. Eventually, the goal is Adam Fantilli, Michigan guy, and then now Kaden Lindström, Michigan State guy, 1-2 at the top of the Jackets, lineup right down the middle. So, he's and what we saw tonight, he didn't score a goal, but what I saw out of Kaden tonight was really impressive. And that was, it kind of looked to me at the beginning of the game, and when I talked to him after the game, he sort of admitted this. I was like, it kind of looks like a guy, he missed a whole year with a back injury. It looks like a guy who's trying to get on a moving treadmill that's going about 8 or 9 miles an hour, and you're trying to get on and get up to speed without falling off. Sort of looked like that a little bit to start this game. But as you watch this game, he really worked his way into it, and at that one point, he almost scores what would have been the game-winning goal at full speed on a partial breakaway right down the middle, and he goes with a between-the-legs shot. Just pulls that out of nowhere at 6'3", 220 pounds. That's basically the size, almost. I mean, football players have grown now, but that's almost the size of an outside linebacker on skates.
I'd say so.
Who is moving, and he's really athletic. So this kid's going to be exciting for you guys to watch around here while he's here.
I'll ask you in a minute about what the Blue Jackets brass said about him. They were here today also. Yeah. The explosive play he just described with Lindström, the Michigan State freshman. You can see him, as you said, he's kind of learning as he goes with the year off and so forth, but the talent flashed at that point. Nightingale was talking about it after the game that the talent kind of flashed. That's the play that everyone's talking about where the talent really flashed, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, how did you see that one?
Well, I saw the same thing. He was like, I wouldn't say invisible, but he wasn't noticeable at first. And you notice Martone more. So you're like, well, he had that year off and he's still getting back. And if we're talking about Quentin Byfield, it's taken Quentin Byfield a little bit to get to where he is a dominant player now and one of the future. So I would say the same thing is probably going to happen to Kaden Lindström. A year here, Maybe pull him out, put him in the minors for a year, or maybe have him stay another year. Who knows? It depends upon what happens in like February, March, and so forth. But tonight, I just saw him in the second half. And even the person I was sitting next to, Nate Bott of the Lansing State Journal, said, you can tell he really wants this game. He really is into it. He wants to make a play and make a difference. And you could see it all of a sudden he did. Burst down with great speed, got behind, won several breakaways, by the way, tonight this Spartans had.
There's a lot of those.
And didn't score. But then he made that play. You're like, wow, this guy is skilled. Just give it time. So if scouts are going, why isn't he progressing more? Just realize he was out for a whole year and his body is behind him. Other players are ahead that played last year and this year. So give it time. And he's at a great, and he works hard here. He loves it here. And he loves what Michigan State practices. He talked last week in our available media thing where every practice is a fast pace. And I like that because that's going to get me to be better player and be better in games. And I think he's probably a little frustrated because everybody wants to be a little better at a quicker time. But I think patience-wise and what Nightingale said tonight in the postgame about how he works hard and has the right attitude and knows he's not entitled to anything. He's got to work for it. And so I think the future is really bright for him here, and I think the future with the Blue Jackets, with a Wolverine ahead of him, is going to be fun to watch in the future.
You talked with, let's see, what members of the Blue Jackets brass were? Did you say the general manager? Who was here for the Blue Jackets
so
tonight?
Pretty much their whole front office, or as far as scouting and stuff. But Don Waddell, he's the general manager and president of hockey operations. He was here, and he's actually a Detroit guy.
Yep,
Neil knows him. He goes back.
Played at Northern.
That's right. Played at Northern
Under Rick Conley.
That's right, and former MSU coach here. And then Rick Nash, former NHL superstar Rick Nash, who is now, he's never moved from Columbus. He was drafted by Columbus #1 overall in 2002, became like he's their best player that they've ever had. He ended up getting traded to the Rangers and then the Bruins, and they never left Columbus. They always loved Columbus. They loved living there, and so he came back, and former general manager of the Blue Jackets, Jarmo Kekalainen, found a role for him. Basically said, hey, why don't you be like the special assistant to the GM or something just to get your feet wet? And credit to Rick Nash, he has really slugged his way up. And now he is the director of hockey operations. So it seems like he's going to, whenever Don decides that he wants to maybe move up or wherever it is, or the time is right, the feeling is Rick Nash may be the Blue Jackets general manager at some point in time. Like he's really working toward that goal. So those guys were here tonight. You
talked to them before the game. What did they say? Did you talk to them about Lindström at all?
I didn't talk to them too much, but I have talked to them before. And I mean, the things that they love are all the things we mentioned. I mean, like it's very rare. It's a unicorn type thing where you're going to find somebody that big, that fast, that skilled, and we saw it tonight. He was hitting people. Like he is not afraid of contact. He's not afraid of going to the corners and mucking it up and winning battles and keeping you the puck. That's a huge thing, especially if you have a center and you got some talented wingers there. Like let's project in 2 years, if he's their second line center in 2 years, and he's playing with Kent Johnson, another Michigan guy who's highly talented but kind of slightly built. Well, who's going to win him the puck?
Yeah,
Kaden Lindström's going to win him the puck, and he's going to get him, and they're going to make plays. Like that. That's what they're envisioning for this guy. Again, like Neil was saying, let's give it time. Let's let him work his way into this thing. It was interesting when I did talk to Kaden after the game tonight, and one of the things that I found interesting is he's like, he goes, I have missed a year. He goes, I found myself a little tentative going into the corners in the first second period. He's like, I was a little
today,
yeah,
in this game.
Yep. He goes, I was a little tentative. I was a little not nervous, but it was just kind of like, he goes, when I was in Medicine Hat, I always knew that wherever I was going to go, corners, boards, whatever it was, I'm coming out with the puck. I knew I'd come out with the puck. I was that good. I was whatever. He goes, it's not exactly that same way here. He's got to figure it out. He's getting his legs under him, And so when he gets that confidence, and I think that move that we were talking about, I think as silly as it may sound, something like that is really going to boost confidence. Like he had a huge speed burst. Like you said, Neil, he wanted to win that game.
Yeah, he's obsessed.
All that stuff took over. And so by the end of the game, you saw him really hunting people, hunting the puck down. There was no tentativeness going to the puck. That's what you're going to see the rest of the season. And however long he's here, you're going to see a guy who's tenacious on the puck.
All right, and you haven't been to a Michigan State hockey game in a long time.
Long
What
time.
were your thoughts about the atmosphere tonight? It was something.
It was like the old days.
And then some, maybe.
And then some, yeah. Exactly.
Neil, I was just thinking, I was like, when was the last time that I was here for a Michigan State hockey game? I was a student. I sat right over there as a freshman in 1992.
Did you have any refreshments before the game?
I don't remember that. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you because it would have been illegal.
18 years old.
You know, so of course I was staying within the rules. But anyway, we sat over there. Anson Carter was a true freshman, same age as me, on this team. Brian Smolinski was on that team. This place rocked back in the days. And when this program fell off, and I know Anson now because I'm in the NHL circles. I've gotten to meet him and gotten to know him. He's such a good guy. And I would every once in a while text him and be like, what do we have to do to get this place back? Like, what do we got to do? And he would say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. But they've done everything. They've gotten it, and it's back. And I think I just asked you, Neil, earlier, if you can remember some of those really awesome teams back in the day, did they have as many, clear-cut NHL prospects as maybe we have now? And
No, not even.
I mean, they had NHL prospects for sure.
They have 15 draft picks on this roster now.
Yes.
And basically, not all going to make the NHL, but
no.
But back then it was like 3 or 4. It was
yes.
Anson, Smolinski here, a defenseman or two, but
Yep.
not like it is here.
No.
And they've got more coming in.
They do.
They've got 10 guys playing major junior now that are coming in over the next 2 years. And those guys,
Yep.
and this Nikita Klepov, who now suddenly is he's playing, I think, in Flint. And he's one of the top rookies in that league.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to come here next year. And he's going to be drafted. And you'll see his name in next year's draft. He's turning 18.
Well, and now you got Levshinov in Chicago. By the way, I love Levshinov. I just love the size on him, the skating. Is he a right-hand shot?
Yeah, he is.
He's another right-hand shot defenseman.
Oh,
He's got a big shot. And he's another one that when you watch him play, you can tell he wants to win.
He's
very
competitive.
He's very competitive guy.
That's his life.
And it was funny because they're in the same draft. He was drafted second by the Blackhawks, and Kaden Lindström was drafted fourth.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there in a room full of Michigan Wolverines, kiddingly, of course, with Adam Fantilli and Zach Werenski and Kent Johnson. And at that time, we had Nick Blankenberg as well. I mean, the whole room was in Columbus, Ohio, was filled with Michigan guys. And one Michigan State, reporter here. And I was just like, God, it'd be nice if we just get Levshinov. I just want one. I could go over to the locker room and talk about the old campus with or whatever. They don't get Levshinov. He doesn't drop. They get Kaden Lindström, and he ends up here. So
how funny is that? Yeah.
Yeah, that helped.
Good times. I appreciate it, Brian. Me and Neil are going to close this one out.
Absolutely.
It's always great to see you. You go back, go to work. You got things to do.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
I'll see you up there probably. Go up to the press area.
Yeah, you too, man.
There he goes, Hedger. I don't know. I think we're still in the picture here. But Neil Koepke, I saw you say to someone up there, I'm not sure who it was, after the game, you said something like, does it get any better than that? I think you may have said to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it all here, and we've talked about that at different checkpoints last year and year before. This one a different level in a lot of ways. Number 1 versus number 3 in the buzz during an off football weekend. And also the talent level. You talked about Michigan State's they've been powerful in the past generations. But being powerful in college hockey in this day and age, with the influx of where the talent level across the board in this sport is rising, for various reasons, with the CHL players coming in and everything else, NIL and everything, and for Michigan State to be at the top of the food chain seemingly while all that talent is rising, and you saw first-round talent flashing tonight. Entertainment value was off the chart.
It was off the chart. And what a game where you thought, you could be frustrated because the Spartans had all these chances, breakaways and chances. And then Penn State all of a sudden ties it. Then in the third, there was a stretch where Penn State suddenly maybe was like, uh-oh, here we go. Maybe Michigan State loses their luster here, and they lose this game after dominating for most of it. But I didn't think Michigan State backed off. I think they stayed with it, and they kept coming. And their speed and skill and the ability to turn the puck over, to stop their guys, to knock their sticks against theirs, turn the puck over, go the other way, using their speed. I think that was the highlight. Now, it's so many frustrating chances that they didn't score on, but again, they stayed with it. They stayed with it. And then when you get 3-on-3 overtime, and you got Gavin McKenna out there with Smith, the defenseman, I mean, really skilled guys, and their top line is really skilled this year. They're no-name guys, but suddenly they're making a name for themselves. Those guys are the top line in college hockey. And I thought Webush would be a factor. But before you know it, the puck was dropped, and Charlie Stramel had a break-in where he put the backhand shot up. Goaltender made the save, and puck deflected off and you're thinking 7 seconds into the overtime, and they've almost had a shot on goal. And now the play continued, and you would think the fourth line, the checking line, the defensive line that can add offense, Tommy Manisto passes the puck to Tiernan Shouty, and boom, and it's like they've been missing those shots all night, but finally, boom, and he was so tired, as he explained in the postgame, where he just turned and was like nonchalant, go against the boards and wait for his teammates to come to him. And a lot of those guys would run and skate and go someplace. He just stayed, come to me, we finally won the game. But again, a classic game for two teams that sometimes if there's no scoring chances and it's a little dull, but this one was wide open. Probably the coaches are not going to like it because there was too many turnovers and back and forth where you were holding your breath, but the fans had to love it, and the fans reacted accordingly.
And it was 1-1, but like you said, there were chances. It's not like this was
exactly
a conservative left-wing lock all day.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Future, people get locked up. And Michigan State's penalty kill. I mean, Penn State came in, number 4 in the country in power play goals. Maybe not the greatest power play percentage, but a lot of power play goals, a lot of power play goals. And Michigan State killed 2.5 penalties in the first period, and then killed the last half of a third penalty.
And one in the third,
in the opening minute of the second period.
Yeah.
So Penn State had some power plays early on.
They did.
And one of those, Michigan State, I thought, turned the tide, keeping it clean. And then the third one, Michigan State, maybe the third or fourth one, Michigan State had 2 breakaways.
Yep,
maybe
they
the
did.
fourth power play of the game. Yeah. Michigan State with 2 breakaways, better chances in the penalty kill. It was like a power kill rather than a penalty kill. And Michigan State's penalty kill was excellent all night. A big reason that it stayed 1-1. The game winner, Manisto, like you mentioned. Manisto's got, 5 goals on the year? 6?
Manisto 5, yes.
And he had only 3 all last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Speedy Junior out of Finland. You need to answer that? Or are we good?
No, okay.
He's a very busy man. 3 goals all last year. All kinds of speed, but you've heard, like on the radio show this week and so forth and after the game, that he's improved his stick a lot this year. 5 or 6 goals already this year, almost doubled his totals of last year. The stick is catching up, maybe with the talent with the skates. Manisto today with the 3-on-3 overtime, goalie goes down. Penn State guy goes down to try to block a shot, and instead of looking for his 6th goal of the year, he's got the magic touch now. Pass over to Shouty. Shouty takes his time and finishes it. Unselfish play by Manisto, having a really great start as a goal scorer this year. All kinds of speed and everything, but unselfish there. And Nightingale says he doesn't have a selfish bone in his body.
Exactly, yeah.
And great for him to get the assist on the game winner, I would imagine, in that locker room for Manisto.
Oh, yeah. Like, he scores a goal, he's the first star, and whoever was going to score it. But there were some great plays tonight by different players. Like Romansky had 5 chances to get his second goal, and he could have won the game in the third period. And I'm thinking, nobody talks about him as a major junior guy coming here. It's everybody else, and he's sort of the one that's not necessarily the forgotten guy, but he's the guy that's playing a role on that all-freshman line, third line, and he's doing a good job. And yet, doesn't get a lot of attention, but they asked the question to Nightingale in the post, and he's a competitive player, loves it here, and he scored a lot of goals 2 years ago in major juniors. Like
Barry, OHL, Barry?
Yeah, Barry Flyers. Barry Colts. Yeah, the Flyers were a little earlier. But he was a good player. He got traded and basically wanted to come to college and go that route. I think he's a little older, might be 19. But again, on a third-line guy, he's only a freshman, played a great game and was in contention to be one of the stars had he scored a goal or whatever, or even not. But he was one of the guys that you noticed out there.
Anthony Romani, freshman, down here, scored the first goal of the game. First period, I think it was. Made a little play behind the goal.
Yeah.
Came over the loose puck, buried it when he had a chance.
And he waited for the goal to go down. And if you look at the replay, he roofed that shot right up there. Because a lot of the times they were shooting wide over the net, or into the pads or so, because the goalie is 6'6", 210 pounds.
He played a good game.
He played a great game. Yeah.
Both goalies played a good game.
Yeah.
And Romani's showing some finishing ability. When you have finishing ability at the OHL level, great goal scorer down there, point producer on your third line as a freshman. That's
pretty good.
Indication of the talent up and down the lineup. Augustine, I thought, made better saves than Penn State's goalie for the first 2 periods of the game. I don't know if you'd agree with that, being an old goaltender, but Augustine had to come up with some good ones tonight.
Well, I always said Augustine needs to play a big game in a game like this with a lot of offensive talent, led by Gavin McKenna. He's got to be on. He's got to be a difference maker. And he was. Look at that save he made in overtime right there. And
just before it goes the other way.
As just before.
3-on-3, you see a lot of good save here. It's going to be counter the other end.
Yeah. And he needs to have that all season long. I don't think he had he had a good season last year, but not a great season. And all the talk about him being the best goalie in college hockey, it's from reputation, but he needs to now prove it. And I think he is determined to do it because he knows he didn't have. Because there were some goals last year in different games where it's like, that's not a goal that he usually allows. And this year, he's got to stop those. And he will be a top goalie and maybe All-American. But there's a lot of other goalies in the Big Ten this year, too. So he's got a challenge, and he wants to be ready as possible for next year when he plays in the Red Wing organization, whether it's with the Wings, probably not, or with the minor leagues with Grand Rapids. But he needs to make the next step by being a dominant goalie in college hockey.
Michigan State 6-1 overall right now. This was their Big Ten opener. 1-0 in the Big Ten. Penn State's now 2-1 in the Big Ten. 9-1 overall. I think it is 9-1. I think I read that correctly.
9-2 now.
9-2. I'm sorry. And they'll play again on Saturday at 4:00. I don't think I'll be here. It's a basketball game at 7. I got some other things going on. You'll be here. You can check out Neil. You're not doing Twitter or anything, are you?
No, not anymore. No.
All right, but I don't know if I'll be here. So we're doing the vcast through the first game. That's why we did it today. I don't think we'll have a vcast after the game tomorrow. We might mention it during the basketball vcast tomorrow at Breslin. But your thoughts on the like we were talking about earlier, the buzz, the electricity. We always talk about it here, but it was up even another notch. And I think it was a reflection of the high skill level had something to do with it, and the goal scoring
attention
chances
that's given to Penn State.
And McKenna's going to be the first pick taken next spring, the best 18-year-old in the world or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, he will be. He's only 17 now. 17. He doesn't turn 18 until the middle of December. And
freshman for Penn State.
And I give the fans here, especially the student section, the Munsters. They recognized that he was almost coming here, and every time he touched the puck, it was like when the Red Wings used to boo the Bruins or the Colorado Avalanche. They booed him, and it was like cute, and then it picked up. I think more people realized, why are we booing? Oh, okay, and I'll join in. And so every time he got the puck, it was boo, boo. And I started in the press box. Every time he would go, I was thinking, oh, God, he's got the puck, boo, as he goes to the net, because he is one dangerous cat. I mean, he actually had the goal, even though he shot it from the left boards and it went off a Spartan skate. But again, he's that dangerous, and he was dangerous on the power play. And I think if you look at the final stats, I think he probably had 5, 6, or 7 shots on goal. So he didn't dominate. He wasn't like an all-star tonight, but he was right there. And again, he had a goal, and if he would have scored the winning goal, he'd have been the first star. So again, he's the guy, and he's not even on their top line. But when they go on a power play and he's on the right point, he's the quarterback. He's so patient with the puck and picking people out. So that's what the scouts like. And again, he's only 17. So again, he will get better and better as the competition pushes him to get better in college.
And he had some great passes tonight. And I wonder, and like Lindström, he's kind of finding his legs probably. Yeah. And at some point, it's going to get it all calibrated. He's going to burst. It might be tomorrow night. He and Lindström, with that kind of talent.
They might be the stars tomorrow, yeah.
They as they gain traction and get it figured out, it can happen quickly.
And I'll tell you what, they're playing in the last week of January, like 30-31, an outdoor game and another game at Penn State. And that'll be a series worth watching. And let's hope somehow that game gets on Big Ten Network or something like that, so a lot of people can see it. Because by then, those guys will be even better, and so are the other guys on their teams. And they should be in the running, as they should be still in the top 5, 6, 7 teams. And again, very much a contender for the NCAA tournament. And if you get in the NCAA tournament, you're automatically a contender to win it all.
And for those that you don't know, Penn State kind of barely got hot late in the year, but went to the Frozen Four. Michigan State was number 1 most of the year, knocked off in the NCAA tournament. That's the way it is. 2 great teams tonight. Big Ten hockey, month of November. No snowflakes yet out there, Neil, but it felt great to be here. I'm glad you could join us here at the VCast.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Anything else?
Nope. I just say the Big Ten is really good. Michigan, everyone thought they might be down again. They're better because they've got in a goalie that's really good. And goalie actually played with Porter Martone in Brampton last year. So that'll be a good storyline in early December when they play each other. Goalie versus the forward there. And again, I think Wisconsin is vastly improved too. Minnesota might be down, and we'll see. Ohio State, we don't know. We never know about Ohio State till about March or February. And then Notre Dame is probably going to, with a new coach and a lot of new players, pull up the rear. But still, next week, the Spartans play there at South Bend before they come back to play Wisconsin. So it doesn't really get any easier, but it'll be a good test next week at Wisconsin or at Notre Dame because new coach, new style of play. Notre Dame, Jim, is going to be more offensive in the next 2 years. No more trap, no more sit back and try to make it like they had under Jeff Jackson. Because they've been losing out on a lot of skilled guys going to other teams like Michigan, Minnesota, BC, BU, or even Michigan State or whatever. They're going to get the better player. They're going to put a system together that we're offensive minded, and it may take 2-3 years, but that's what they're going after. So they don't lose those guys. So again, more excitement for the Big Ten because wide open style play.
All right. It's great hockey town, East Lansing, Michigan. Great old venue tonight. Did college hockey proud, in my opinion, tonight. A lot of scouts watching, some big-time talent on the sheet of ice. And in some ways, a game unlike regular season game, maybe unlike anything that's been staged here because of the talent level, because of what's going on with college hockey now, the NIL, and all those things. And it was fun. Lived up with the building, and there's another one Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. For Neil Koepke, my name is Jim Comparoni. I've been watching the vcast from Munn Ice Arena with the Spartans for SpartanMag.com.